Hello everybody and welcome back. Before we get started today, I'm going to make a disclaimer to say that there is no healthcare professional on this show today. We are here to just talk to you about perimenopause and menopause, hormonal changes in our body. All the information I have is from just speaking to other women who have been through a similar experience, because we do experience this slightly differently. We all are going through the same kind of changes and we're just here to support each other. Welcome back to my subscribers that have been here from the beginning. I want to say I love you, thank you, I appreciate you. And those of you who have just joined us, welcome to the community. We are so happy to have you here and I hope you're staying. Anybody who's just here to watch, please do subscribe if you like what you see and you enjoy the show. So let's get on with it. Here we go. Ladies, can we all agree on just one thing at least? Did anybody actually tell you about this? Because I know nobody told me about menopause. I promise you. I may have heard little dribbles of things through people outside of my family, but nobody in the family actually spoke about this. So, were you told about this? Did you know that this is what is going to happen to you at this age? Yeah, one of my targets for this year is to make sure I let my children know what is going to be happening in their future. If they have any questions, they need to tell me what they want to know and I will give them as much information as I can, and then we'll see where we go from there. Because what I don't want is for them to be in a situation where, things just happen to you. You wake up one day and, you're looking for your glasses, can't remember where your glasses are and they're on your head. You go to the supermarket and you had a shopping list somewhere. Now you're in the supermarket, no shopping list, don't remember where you put it, and you could swear you had it in your pocket. And now you just don't know what you came to the shop for. I mean, those are small things, but they all add up when you have so many of those situations popping up. It's confusing, it's annoying, it can delay your process for the day. Maybe you've got plans and you have to put things off because you have to go back home and retrace your steps, and it's just such an inconvenience. And those things, they heighten your anxiety as well. You get stressed out because you're going to be late for another appointment. It has a knock-on effect to other things in your life. So yeah, nobody told me about all that. Honestly, I had no idea. So from what I've read, perimenopause is the time leading up to menopause, which is basically the time when the hormones start to behave erratically and you start to have changes. Maybe you'll notice your periods are not on the same date that they'd normally be. Like if you're somebody that has a 28-day cycle, for example, all of a sudden your period comes after 15 days and you're like, whoa, that's unusual, that's never happened before. Or it goes the other way next month and doesn't come at all. Just not 28 days like it would normally do, because some of us have had cycles that have been the same throughout our lives. Even after I had children, I would say my cycle, as soon as I had the child, you could count 28 days after giving birth and I was back. So I never had that break, even though I was breastfeeding, and all the things I've heard and read about, if you're breastfeeding, you're not gonna have a period for a few months and blah, blah, blah. Never. 28 days on the dot. Mine was like that from the beginning right through until perimenopause kicked in. And that is very erratic, a very erratic time. They say that menopause is the starting point of that is when you have not had a period for 12 consecutive months. Then they say that you are menopausal or you're postmenopausal. Very confusing stuff. Okay, so what difference does that make? Perimenopause, you are in the process. Menopause, you've reached a place and a space. So what does that mean? It means that the hormones have done their work on you and now you're stuffed. Don't listen to me. I'm always talking nonsense. You know me by now. I know you know. If we go back to the past, maybe 50 to 100 years, we know that that was not a subject that was ever discussed. It was not a subject that women could bring up in public with other women and say, you know, I'm going through this or whatever. I mean, you were just told to get on with it. You were told to stay quiet. You were encouraged not to complain, you know, or just told that, you know, you just carry on. And sadly, a lot of women suffered because of that, because it's not just what you're going through, it's the way it's dealt with that's the most important thing. You know, when you've got support, everything feels better, doesn't it? In the past, what used to happen is that women used to feel like they're becoming lazy or just becoming emotional, and they're becoming all the symptoms. They used to just see it as something that it's like they're becoming ill, something's happening to them that's making them ill. So they didn't really know how to connect the dots, because if nobody talks to you about anything, then how would you know, really? You know, it was a very difficult time for them. So of course we know lots of the symptoms already. There's night sweats, hot flushes, anxiety, low moods, brain fog, poor sleep, poor concentration, loss of confidence, loss of libido, dry skin, hair changes. I want to pull up that dry skin one for a second here and talk about this weird thing that's happening in my ears. My ears are dry inside. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this before. I know they say your skin gets dry, but they don't emphasize every part of your skin is susceptible to this dryness. Well, yeah, my skin is dry. We understand that. But the inside of my ears is dry and sore. Why's that? Same thing. Now, nobody would have guessed. I've never had this problem before. And it's taken me, I mean, I've been perimenopausal for, I would say I can identify the beginning at least 8 years ago. I think a lot more, but I'm thinking off the top of my head now, so I'm going to say at least 8 years ago I was perimenopausal. So it's been a long time, and this is something that started to happen to me about 5-6 years ago, this ear thing, and I suffered with it for a long time and didn't think to go to the doctor. I have no idea why. And then, I don't know, I read something and I thought, I wonder if I should ask the doctor about this. One day I was there and I asked them, and they said, yeah, it does happen to some people. You can get it under your feet, you can get it inside your ears, you can get it, you know, inside your vagina. And I was like, what? Well, this is amazing. Okay. So there's always something they can do. They can give you drops for it. You can get cream for it. Go to your doctor. That's my advice. Go to your doctor. And anything that you think is going on, I think you should mention it, because you'd be surprised what is connected to the menopause. Amazing. And the hair drops out sometimes, not with everybody, but because my scalp is also dry, I would understand that there's an issue with the hair as a result of perimenopause. Luckily, I am such a huge wig fanatic, because I don't know what I would have done without them, to be honest. I really don't know. But yeah, I struggled with it for a while, but I just have made the decision not to make it be a problem to me, because there's so many worse things in the world. What's great now as well is that there's podcasts. And there's books on perimenopause and menopause. There's many specialists, lots of doctors now that are specialized in women's health, not just gynecological health like it's always been, but now it's deeper than that. It's the perimenopausal side of things. I'm going to have someone on the show who is very much a specialist in women's healthcare and menopause and perimenopause. She's very interested in this, and this is what she specializes in. That's why you need to make sure you subscribe, and that's why you need to make sure that you've got the little bell on, so that anytime you get a notification when there's something coming up, you won't miss it. Okay? Imagine a time in the future when all health professionals, it's part of their training to know about perimenopause and menopause. Imagine if your partner knew about this before you even got together. So from the start, they're already knowing what you know. Imagine if children were learning about menopause in school. I mean, they push for them to learn about sex education. So why can't they learn about menopause? It's all part of life, right? So this is a natural part of life. It's hormonal. And so why wouldn't they teach children about menopause in school? What is it you'd like to see different for the future? I'd like more workplace support. It'd be really good if the workplaces knew more, like your bosses would know more about what is happening, so you don't feel you can be dismissed, as a hypochondriac, when in actual fact there's something real going on with you. And it'd be nice if there was easier access to menopause clinics, because there's not that many, is there? And more research focused on women's health. Now, that's a thing. We would love to see more research with women's health specifically, because the hormones do have a lot to do with what happens in the functions of our body, a lot more than most of us even realise, to be fair. I'd like to know some more things as well, because I know that progesterone and estrogen play a huge part in the changes that happen to our body. But I often hear testosterone coming up, which I didn't know was something that women really had in their body until I became perimenopausal. But in what quantities and what part does it play in this whole change? Like, I'd like to know, how much testosterone do we actually have? What is going on here? Is there other hormones as well that we don't know about? Be interesting to know, wouldn't it? It's good when your family is open to discussions about these things. It's not everybody who's got that kind of family. Sometimes culturally, it's not really acceptable to be talking about things to do with women's bodies in front of other family members. Sometimes it's just not done. It's a thing of the past so it'd be nice to change that system. This is why it'd be good to start with the schools, because if you start with clinics and then schools, if that becomes the norm in those areas, then it kind of, as the generations go by, it becomes the norm in general. There'll be clinics everywhere. The children will be talking about it. Those same children are the ones that turn into adults, who turn into menopausal people at our age, or they'll be the partners of somebody who's going through that. So it will be like the norm by that time. So that would be great, actually, if it started from the schools. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, so have you ever thought about the fact that being menopausal is just the beginning of another, maybe the third chapter of your life? Yeah? So it's not actually the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter. So you really need to be in tune with your body, you really need the support, you need the help. And because it affects all the family members as well, that's why I was saying that it would be a good idea if children knew about it and partners knew about it beforehand. I mean, it's never too late to tell them, but beforehand would be good, so they grow up with that knowledge as well. And that's what I hope for my children's future, that their children will be able to to know from the time they're young. So it's a normal subject to just bring up at any time, like they bring up anything else. One of the things I would definitely suggest is staying active. Now, I'm going to tell you straight, I am not the type for gym. I mean, I might be soon because I've got a couple of friends that are trying to encourage me into that space. So, keep listening, keep listening. You might find me saying something different in a few weeks' time. But I am very active, that's the thing. So I walk so much. I never count my steps. I just do walk a lot. I do a lot of activity. I hardly ever sit down. I know you see me on camera sitting down, but I hardly ever sit down. So, that helps me a lot. I think it really keeps my body agile and I don't have so much aches and pains. It's really important to eat a balanced diet though. That's something that I've really implemented into my life that I know has made a huge, huge difference. I'd like to show you some recipes in the future as well on some future shows. I'm going to get that together for you to show you maybe what you can work with, because I don't like to eat dull food. I like to see colours on my plate. But I am restricting the carbs a bit. I don't need as much carbs as I used to. Much better. And I eat at certain times. And I'm rather strict about what times those are. So we'll talk about that in another show. I promise you that. And then you have to prioritize good sleep. And that's an issue that I've always had since I was young. I've always been a really bad sleeper. I've been a bit of an insomniac all of my life, all of my adult life. And it is an issue. And it's an ongoing thing for me. I go through a couple of weeks where I'll sleep every night flat out. And because I'm always physically exhausted, you'd think, my body, it's a weird thing, but I always struggle with that one. But I would advise you to get into a pattern and a routine that will help you to have a good, consistent, good night's sleep, a whole night's sleep. Not drinking too late so you end up in the toilet 3 or 4 times a night, because the bladder really does get sensitive and it starts to make you keep going. And then once you start, that's it. You're going to be going all night. Nobody wants all that. Right. So you've got to manage stress. Now, de-stressing for me might be different from de-stressing for you and for other girlies out there. Yeah? So de-stressing for me, if I just get up out of the house and go for a walk, I could go through a big 10-mile shopping complex. Just me walking all day, I could go there and be there the whole day, buy nothing, but just move about the whole day on my own is such a stress relief for me. I can't even explain what it does for me. Just like when I go on Sundays and go to church, worship, I love that. And it's a de-stress for me. It's a good place for me to be. I'm in good company. I feel so light and happy. That's my happy space as well. So, but for some people it might be their mosque, some people it might be their yoga classes, some people it might be their circuit training classes, some people it might be their book club, some people it may be work. Maybe they're really happy in their workplace and their space there, and that's the friends that they've got. It's so many different places and so many different things. You need to identify what it is that makes you happy, what can make you, that helps you with de-stressing, I should say, and implement more of that in your life if you can, because that's what you need. You need to de-stress. That would really help you, and that will also hopefully help with the sleep. Yeah, so we can try that. Always talk openly with your friends and family when it comes to this subject, because you will be surprised how relieved people will be when you tell them the reason why you may have been acting a certain way, or what you're feeling inside. Maybe they can even tell you, oh, but that's why you were like this last week and I didn't really understand. I thought maybe I'd done something to you. You find that people think things and then they don't say what they're thinking, and then sometimes it can make somebody drift away from you, when in actual fact you changed some of the behaviors that you normally have towards them, but it's not that you're doing it on purpose, but they've noticed. So it's good to really talk and get things out in the open. And when you do that as well, that's another way of de-stressing for you. Sometimes I wish my parents and my grandparents were still alive so I could find out what they really knew. I mean, my mother was a nurse. She knew a lot, but she didn't talk much about that sort of stuff. She just didn't. And I think it just wasn't done, especially when you're young. They just think, I mean, we were brought up, the way I was brought up by her is like, you don't need to speak. It's not that she said this, by the way, it's just the feeling that you get when you're being brought up. I felt like certain things with children, there's children's subjects and there's adult subjects. And that one was not one of the children's subjects. That's one of those things that you deal with as an adult. So I don't know. I never heard that they talked about it amongst her and her friends and family. I don't think so. I really don't. And I definitely know my grandmother didn't. But it'd be nice to hear why and culturally what that looked like. It would have been interesting to know. Now I tell you, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, have you had a positive experience with a healthcare professional about perimenopause or menopause? I'm really interested. I know I've said that to you before, but I really want you to sit down and think about this because it's really important. I want to know what your healthcare professionals are saying and how they're helping you, because actually what you say may help somebody else. So please do let us know. And did you feel dismissed? Did you feel misunderstood? What advice would you give another woman just beginning this journey? Like, let's say it was your child, your daughter, and she's just starting on her menopausal journey. What would you say to her? You know, that would be interesting how you would put it to her. You know what I'd like us to do is to create a positive, supportive community where women can learn from each other. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like you are not normal. We're all going through it together. Just need to talk about it a lot more. Okay, let's share all that you need to let us know so we can also learn from you. Thank you so much for watching today. It's been so nice talking to you, and there's many shows coming up. Don't forget, I've got a workbook for you. And as soon as I post it, I'm going to let you know, because I'm so grateful for you subscribing and liking and sharing. You have made such a difference in my journey. Talking to you guys and understanding what is happening with you is very much helping me. So I hope that my stories are helping you too on your journey. Okay, so it's been wonderful speaking to you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Oh, definitely do some sharing. And we'll speak in the next episode. Take care. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You know what? I want you to understand that us getting older is not something to fear. What you need to remember is that your journey is with a whole lot of other people. You have a community that you're getting older with, and it's absolutely fine. Every chapter we're going through it together. That's the reason why we have each other. Have a great day.